Hello and welcome to EV Platform. Today we're doing something slightly different on the channel. It's our first commercial review and road test where Blake was lucky enough to have the eDeliver 9 from MAXUS. Let's get stuck into the details.
It's very early in the morning again and we have another range test and review coming up for you today. But this time it's a little bit interesting because we have a commercial van. It's the MAXUS eDeliver 9. So let's get on the road and tell you about what we're going to be doing today. We are in the MAXUS eDeliver line. Let's turn it on and see what we have here today. So the estimated trip that we have is about 140 miles or just over 200 kilometers. And if we zoom in here, we can see that we have an estimated range in the MAXUS eDeliver 9 of 141 miles. But the problem is today we are going to have a lot of motorway driving. So I really don't think we're going to hit that range. But anyway, let's get going and we'll see how we get on. We'll give you an update after the first leg of the journey. Then we've just arrived into Dublin and as you can see it's getting a little bit brighter now, thankfully. So we started off with just over 140 on the guessometer and that is down to 115, having done about 30 miles, just over 30 miles. So we're kind of on track so far. It's going all right. An average consumption of 42 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. And that's a strange metric that I don't normally use. So we try and get a conversion for you on that and let you know. Anyway. Plenty of stages left to go today, so we'll sign off there and we'll give you an update after the next one. Time for another update now. We've come down to an EV meetup. Actually nice to see everybody here, a lot of cars. e-tron, Q4 was here, e-golf, a couple of Model 3s. Anyway, an update on the range. So far we have an average of 43.2 kilowatt hours for every 100 miles, and we'll put a bit of a translation for that up on the screen. But the thing is, heading back home now on one trip, and I have give or take about 60-65 miles to go, and the guessometer says 87 miles. But the question is, will I make it? But Derek is here actually with me, thankfully. Derek, am I going to make it home? What's your impression, because you've driven this car already?
Yeah, I think you definitely will. I think they don't over egg it. I think it's going to be well, you're going to be well within the limit of what you're going to make it. So just don't go heavy on the shoe.
I don't know what he's talking about. Very heavy shoe. Anyway, we'll give you an update when we get back home. So we are out in the MAXUS eDeliver 9. Let's talk about how it drives, batteries, range, things like that. But we'll start off the back because MAXUS eDeliver 9 can actually tow 1,500 kilos braked or 750 kilos unbraked, which is great functionality to have in a commercial vehicle like this. But then we'll move on to the motor now. So no matter what option you get in this, be it the different battery ranges or the short, long wheelbase, etc., you are getting a 150 kilowatt motor, which actually has a good bit of power to it. Now just to give that a bit of perspective, my old Nissan Leaf only has an 80 kilowatt hour motor, so this is nearly double that. And you're looking at 310 newton meters of torque. So this thing is actually no slouch. You've got plenty of power there for when you need it, hauling goods around. And funnily enough, if you want to plant your foot at the traffic lights in this, it will do the 0 to 100 kilometer per hour sprint or 62 miles per hour in 11 seconds, which is actually pretty quick. You compare that to, once again, to my old Nissan Leaf, which is around about the same time. I think it might be a half second faster or something like that. So yeah, I've given a few people a couple of surprises at the traffic lights in the few days I've had it now. What's it like to drive? It's very, very comfortable. I mean, you just notice straight away there's no diesel engine. You don't get the noise, the vibrations. It just makes it so much more pleasant. I've driven a few vans like this in diesel form over the years, and they're never the most comfortable thing to be in, but this just takes a big step. The seat itself is quite comfortable. I've got various adjustments, lumbar support. I can move the seat up or down, the angle that my back is at, back and forward. I can move the steering wheel, adjust that up or down as well. So yeah, a lot of functionality in this car just to make it a little bit more comfortable. But then also, we got to move on to the fact that there's no gears in with this electric motor. It's just one gear. You put it down into drive and you go. So no gear changes. A lot of couriers and stuff like that, they complain about their left knee from pressing the clutch down, hundreds, maybe even thousands of times in a week. And you don't have to do that here. You barely even have to brake because you can modulate the accelerator and use regen braking, which slows the car down and recharges the battery at the same time. How do you do that? The selector just here, so it's in drive at the moment, but if we can move it over to the right, and then I can toggle this up and down. So at the moment I have it in, there's 3 settings. I have it in the third one, which is the highest regen, but I can just flick that down like that, flick it down again, and that's down second, and then 1. For coasting on motorways and stuff like that, maybe better off having it in 1, but around town like this, I'm putting it up into 3. And look, not even braking, pressing the brake pedal. Now it won't bring you to a complete halt, it's not one pedal driving, but it's as good as, it'll bring you down to about walking pace.
Well, back home, and it's a bit of an anticlimax actually, because we have 35 miles of range left, so it's showing 1 of the 8 bars of battery there. So what are we down to? I don't know, 15-20%, something like that. Yeah, made it home really easily. The van being limited to 100 kilometers an hour obviously really helps with the average energy consumption, but that was all motorways driving really of what we've done so far, and it's sitting at an average of 41.8 kilowatt hours for every 100 miles. And as I said, we'll put that translation up on the screen. So fair play to the van. It's done really, really well. Surprisingly comfortable as well. I've had cruise control on the journey. Yeah, well done, Maxus.
Thanks very much, Blake. You look like you had an enjoyable day out. Even got to meet the likes of myself at that meetup. What was your overall impressions, Blake?
Yeah, I think, look, as you can tell from the video, I was hugely impressed by it. Very impressed by the range, just the comfort of it as a commercial vehicle. Yeah, really, really impressed. But Derek, look, I think we've seen enough of my opinion in the video already. What about you? What do you think about it? Because you've actually reviewed this van on your own channel as well in the past.
Yeah, I really like aesthetically. I think it's a great looking van, fit and finish. I think it's something that they can be proud of. And anybody that I showed it to when I had it at the time felt that, you know what, that may never have heard of the name MAXUS, or they might have known of LDV in the past. But this is a great van. You can see why some organizations are transitioning their fleet to electric with the likes of this.
Yeah, but look, it's been so positive on this video already. Let's try and pick some holes in this. Let's play devil's advocate for a second. And I want to bring up Rivian and Arrival being 2 examples of people who are building vans, electric vans, on bespoke platforms. And we know what that can do for electric vehicles instead of compromised cars. So what do you see much of a future for what the likes of MAXUS or even Renault or Ford have been doing to date, where they're just simply altering diesel vans? Where do you think this is going to go?
I think you're going to see, at the moment, there is that bit of a green premium on electric vans for commercial entities. But once you get, there's a couple of sides to this. Once you get the likes of the Fords and the Stellantis groups really pushing their electric vehicles, and I see there recently where one of the brands is saying all of our vans are going to be electric. I think it was Citroen, if I'm not mistaken, that all of our vans by a certain year are going to be electric. So you've got that. You've got the likes, as you said, of Arrival and Rivian making bespoke, custom-made electric vehicles for logistics companies. And then you've got something in between the likes of GM in the United States, where they're bringing out their Bright Drop manufactured van that's looks nothing like a traditional electric van. But to answer your question, I think you're going to see prices coming down when more of the market is electrified, and organizations have the ability to choose which van they go for. And then you've got the likes of battery technology getting better, so you're going to have a much more efficient van and better ranges.
And then just to take this a bit further, because you mentioned it already about more vans coming online, let's just kind of reflect or think or talk about for a second how important it is to get these commercial vehicles switching over from diesel to electric.
For sure, you like, if you're watching this and you're driving an EV, you might only drive it in the morning to go to work, drive it back afterwards in the evening. You might go out shopping. If you're at home for the day, you might be bringing the kids to school and that, but you're not on the road all day, every day. And that's where these electrified vans are coming in to play. And they're going through a lot of fuel, they're burning a lot of stuff. And if we can get that electric, put a battery into it, if they can get them powered off solar or sustainable energy, it's going to make a huge difference for the environment, for air quality, for driver quality of health. There's so many benefits to it. There is a premium to it, but I think we should be able to justify that premium.
Yeah. It can't come soon enough, really. I just completely echo what you said there, really, especially, the likes of vans that are being operated by couriers, and they're going around housing estates by schools. And these things are running a diesel engine just non-stop for hours and hours every day, possibly even doing a couple of shifts. So yeah, sooner we get them electric, the better. And even converting one of these vans could be as good or better than getting you know, 5, 6, 7 diesel SUVs to go electric that are only actually doing 10,000 kilometers a year anyway, you know.
Definitely, it's all about that mileage, but and when you look at the cost, it's that total cost of ownership when you're trying to justify these electric vans. Hopefully, you've enjoyed today's road trip and review of the MAXUS eDeliver 9 with Blake and myself. This has been EV Platform.
Thank you very much for watching.